The organic results are just the website, but the map results are all the information you've put in your GMB supported by your website. And
Right.
that particularly the schema geolocation data on the website.
Right.
The organic results don't do a lot with geolocation schema. Most of that goes to the map.
So what do you?
The map is the most relevant thing for that.
Right.
So when he has all these check-ins, this particular client showing that he's done these services in the surrounding area that he claims to service, it supports what he's telling Google in his GMB account, and they show him as more relevant because basically he's got a check-in on so-and-so street on so-and-so day, and 2 weeks later someone 2 streets over does a search for that service, and they say, we've got all this list of guys in this area who do this. Oh, well, this guy does it. Oh, and he was around the corner 2
Right.
weeks ago.
Hey there, guys. It's Nolan and Jason here with Roofing Webmasters.
Howdy.
Okay, so today we're going to talk about local SEO updates for roofers. This specifically is talking about Google making a change in 2019 towards the end.
Yeah. Just happened like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, so we're
2 weeks ago. Yeah, you guys don't know what date we're doing this.
we're in December of 2019.
Right.
But even if you look at this a year later or 2 years later, it made significant changes and probably ain't going to change much from this for a while, if I had to
Right.
guess. So this is local SEO updates for roofers, aka what you understand is your map, aka GMB or Google My Business.
Right.
And Jason has a better command of this subject in the English language, so I'll turn it over to him.
Okay. So anyway, a couple weeks ago, Google made a change to local SEO. A lot of people don't know this, but there's a local SEO algorithm and a general SEO algorithm at Google. And the local SEO is the map pack, the 3 map results that you see, combined with the sidebar where you see your GMB information pop up. If you look at your business name, you go search your business name, you'll see that, or you should if your GMB is healthy. So a Google search results page is the ads, the local, which is the map pack and the sidebar, and then down there's the organic. Even when what we call the organic is locally focused, it's not technically running through the local SEO algorithm. It's still running through the general national algorithm. It's giving you local results because
The local
of
organic.
the proximity. Yeah.
And again, the pages that pop up in the top 10 results on each page, not the map.
Right.
It's
Right.
running-
Those can be separate. You can win on the map, but not show up in the organic, and vice versa if you're not covering your bases on all those things. And the reason we're talking about it is we had a client that we started up recently, and we did some really good stuff with him, and he immediately rocketed to the top of mapping, and he's still climbing in the organic.
We set up Righteous Reviews and he used it,
Right, yeah,
Which
he
is-
used it a lot. He
which
got
was
like
photos, captions, check-ins.
41 check-ins in 60 days or something.
He's
like
still
that.
going up. Last
Yeah.
time it was 37. So
Cool.
he's doing
Okay.
photos of jobs that are unique that he took on the job, a caption, and before he leaves the job, he does what is a schema-coded check-in category, which is the geocode from his cell phone before he leaves the job, and drops a red pin drop and tells Google that he did a job on that geocode.
Yeah.
And that's extremely nice branding signaling. And then when he is in his truck and he pulls the city page and the service page that is on his website and then includes the client's cell phone and email and hits send, it automatically sends the client a text and an email to his Google, Facebook, BBB, whatever reviews by text and email, and it also uploads the photo and a caption and the check-in. And one would think that if all that goes on the website, that this was an organic only, meaning the top 10 results for organic keywords, that it wouldn't have much to do with the map placement of his.
Someone would be wrong.
Well, yeah, so 90% of people would think this. Oh,
Yeah.
that's, in fact, we talked about this the other day. The average client would call up and say, oh, y'all didn't do that. That's my map account. That's my Google business account, not yours.
Which,
And-
by the way, we also manage.
which we manage it, no, it's direct. What he's telling you, and the reason I wanted to make a huge point about this is
Yeah.
stinking directly related to it, like
Yeah.
directly related.
The organic results are just the website, but the map results are all the information you've put in your GMB supported by your website. And
Right.
that particularly the schema geolocation data on the website.
Right.
The organic results don't do a lot with geolocation schema. Most of that goes to the map.
So what do you?
The map is the most relevant thing for that.
Right.
So when he has all these check-ins, this particular client showing that he's done these services in the surrounding area that he claims to service, it supports what he's telling Google in his GMB account, and they show him as more relevant because basically he's got a check-in on so-and-so street on so-and-so day, and 2 weeks later someone 2 streets over does a search for that service, and they say, we've got all this list of guys in this area who do this. Oh, well, this guy does it. Oh, and he was around the corner 2
Right.
weeks ago.
Right.
So that we have verified data that guy services that exact neighborhood. So he's probably the most relevant result according
For
to
mapping,
relevancy
for
and
GMB.
proximity. So bam, he goes to the top for that keyword. Pretty simple, but it's tied together through a lot of
I want to
different
explain
points.
it one more time. So you have a lot of content on a website that's words on a page.
Right.
And say you're a roofer in Chattanooga, Tennessee. If you're a roofer in Chattanooga and you have information or page about shingle roofing, page about roof repair, page about hail damage roof repair, page about roof insurance claims help, those are all separate pages. And then you have pages for all the cities around Chattanooga and Chattanooga.
Yeah. Well, and the Google update we're discussing actually specifically addresses that.
Yeah.
That you're better off if you have pages of content for those specific services instead of grouping them or just bullet listing them on a single page or something like that.
So we make separate pages, and then that content by itself goes into the pool of content that Google might have about shingle roofing in Chattanooga, which could compete with a local news station, a national company,
The Wikipedia page.
Wikipedia or Yelp, or any other roofer.
Right.
So you will see roofers go up for these, especially when it gets into the minutia of it. They're more likely to show high in organic search rankings. But what Jason is saying is that when you take that stuff that's on the page and you add signaling like check-ins, captions, reviews, and other stuff that's on the website, that portion of all that stuff, including the content, will funnel through the GMB account.
Right.
And when you're going in the GMB account for roofers in Chattanooga, it strips out the news agencies, the nationals, and everything else. And now you've only got 100 roofers you're competing against instead of 150,000 pages of content that have ever been written.
Right.
And so what we still go for both because
Yeah. You want both.
You want both.
Make no mistake.
but we're seeing currently with Righteous Reviews Integrated extreme increases quickly because of all this funneling through GMB with less competition with quality signaling, which your competition doesn't have,
Right.
is popping people up and ranking on mapping quickly. The other keywords are still moving through organic. Roughly half people in organic go to your website and half don't go to the website or go to map.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
so
your map
it's still
listing has
split.
your phone number and some pertinent information. So a lot of people will just call from there. And if you've got the Google My Business sidebar popping up, there's often enough information right there for a lot of people.
But
to make a
Jason, would
decision.
these things pop up if you didn't have a website?
No, absolutely not. That's,
Okay,
that's
so-
the whole point. They won't.
Right.
And what's cool about
I know you know
this-
that. I'm just
yeah,
illustrating.
I know. What's cool about this is it's providing map listings used to be a pain to move up through. They were very
Oh God, Jason, this
very
is the best opportunity
static.
that's existed
Yeah.
since stuff we didn't do. We absolutely never gamed Google, you know that.
Yeah.
But people that used to send links in out of India and stuff before the Penguin algorithm update in 2012 and 13, this is bar none the best opportunity.
Right.
that
And
I've
it's
seen.
legit.
And it's
Because
legit.
it's all built around legitimate activity.
All legitimate.
We had the client I was discussing, he had a new business. And so had never had a website. And he launched 60 days ago? was
Roughly
it?
60 days,
Roughly
65
ago.
days maybe.
And for his primary keyword, the thing he wants to show up for, which incidentally in his category is the most competitive keyword there is,
Right.
he's number one in mapping.
He's number one for lots of keywords
For
in
lots
mapping.
of keywords in a lot of cities.
I want to disclaimer this. We don't guarantee keywords. We
No,
don't own
definitely
Google.
not.
We don't own Google. We can't guarantee where the map's going to show up or organic. We're simply stating that we're seeing extreme results because of the Google local update for 2019.
Yeah.
They have done a better job of funneling in all the criteria for, I guess, content and relevancy and branding, which would include
Relevancy and
expertise, authority, and
no,
trust.
the word went right out of my head. It means nearby. My vocabulary has failed me.
I don't know.
Proximity.
Proximity.
Relevancy and proximity. Those are the primary movers of
Okay.
the local algorithm.
So you take a regular website and then you all of a sudden start getting check-ins, reviews, captions, and regular changes. And you take that organic side of it and funnel it up through the much smaller area of the GMB competition. It is doing phenomenal things for map placement.
It's moving the way it logically should.
It
now,
is
if you
finally
make-
moving
Yeah,
that
finally.
way.
If you make changes and you do stuff that, I mean, it used to be, we used to be able to get the national organic result faster than we could get the map. And we were
Yes.
doing everything right. Let's just
That was
make that
eons.
very clear.
Right.
and now we're seeing, 60 days, 90 days, top of the map from nowhere.
Yeah.
And it's very exciting.
It is very exciting, and it's going to be here for. I'm gonna guess that this is low-hanging fruit for 3 years.
Yeah. Well, this is all part of their Google's effort to make the search algorithm behave more like a person.
Yeah.
To read content
So,
like a person and stuff like that, and that's only gonna.
Let's talk
This is
about
only
it
going to improve. I think.
from a human standpoint, and from Google looking at the human standpoint. If you're a potential searcher, you're a Google client. So that's one thing I think people misunderstand the relationship a lot. You're not gaming the system. You're helping Google to show the best content, right?
Right.
And so somebody in
Gaming the system would be as if you faked it.
if you faked it. But you want to be thinking about what your client is, which is also Google's client. Google wants to show them the best relevant information. And so you're there and you've got someone that's looked up hail damage roof repair, Chattanooga TN. And that person gets there and let's do a different one. I don't know Chattanooga well enough, but let's say it's Springfield TN. So Springfield, Tennessee, on the outskirts of Chattanooga, probably doesn't exist, but let's just say hypothetically.
There's a Springfield almost everywhere, so it might.
So everybody has a Springfield page. Not everybody, like 100 roofers already have it.
Right.
Why would they show you? Why would Google show you? And why would your client or Google's client want to come look at the page? So it's a smaller town. It doesn't have 200,000 people in it like Chattanooga. It's got 18,000 people in it. There's very few roofers. You've got a phenomenal website from Roofing Webmasters. It's got better code base, better content, but a lot of people have a city page. You're newer and you need to compete against other people that have been there for like 5 years before you.
Right.
10 years before you. Why do they show you and why does Google show you? Well, all of a sudden you have check-ins where it is a schema-coded thing that Google can tell you were there that is done before you leave the job site. You have unique photos of the jobs you're doing with captions, and then that's flowing through your site regularly. So you did 100 jobs in a year, and all of a sudden you have 600 changes that other people didn't have. This guy that we're talking about had 40. There's 3 changes on each page. So he's
Which
got,
in 60 days is a lot.
what is that, 240 changes on the website.
Right.
And it will, and I'm not even exaggerating, the other competitors around him won't have 240 changes on their website in 10 years.
Yeah.
So, and he's done it within 60 days.
Right.
And so Google's now coming back more frequently because they'll come back faster and faster and go, seeing these check-ins, seeing these pictures and unique content and captions go up, and it's just everything that they want to see. And it's actually not just the main city's doing well, which is where he's located,
Right.
and his subsidies.
Yeah. It's all his
Yeah.
city pages, and you made a point that I'd like to expand
Okay.
on. Is he talked about Google sees the changes. Well, what happens is if they go to your site, they spider it the first time, they see everything, they've got it in their database, they're like, great. And then they go back 2 weeks later or whatever it is, it's on their schedule, they don't tell us exactly what they're doing, but we know some basics. And some changes have already been made, then they'll say, huh. And they'll go back again in a week or two and more changes. And they'll start re-indexing your site more often if they see that changes are made regularly.
Legitimate good changes.
They'll basically, it'll check a little box somewhere in the algorithm that says this site is updated regularly. We have to look at it more often.
Right.
If they look at your site after 2 weeks, no changes. Go back in a month. Still no changes.
Right.
Go back in another month. Still no changes. Okay, wait 90 days.
So they do this
and then
because
eventually they're only looking at your site every 90 days.
it's
or every 6
resources.
months.
Google has come out and said they don't want you wasting their time or putting in fake, so it costs them money. It may
And
be
it's not a punishment. It's they're looking at you saying, okay, they put up a website. It's nice. Okay, that's fine. But they're not doing anything to it, so there's no reason for
We're
us
not
to
gonna
look at it again.
we're not going to spend the resources to come back here each week.
Right.
Yeah, so they got to come back there, spider it all, and store that data.
Right.
So, but yeah, and then Jason didn't say probably just to make it ultra clear. When you get reindexed regularly, that helps your SEO.
Well, yeah.
So.
Because they see. Yeah, I'm sorry if I didn't make
No,
that point.
people don't know,
Because
though.
it's
People don't
like
know.
Indexing more means they see. Like you're out there using righteous reviews and you're doing check-ins. Well, if it takes them 6 months to index you again, it doesn't matter that you did check-ins because they didn't see them. But when they see those changes being made and they come back more often, then they're constantly seeing.
And the question, like,
that
why?
new data.
If you just peel out the basics here more, so why do they care? Because they want the most relevant data for the for their client who's searching for you. And if you have great information, they want to show you, because if they didn't do this, someone else would make a better algorithm
Right.
and take them over. So they're over here doing this, saying, hey, what's very best for our client? Google's trying to get the best pages for the client. And that can be you, or it can be anybody else, whoever wants to go in there and work and do this stuff. And this part of it with righteous reviews gives every little branding expertise, authority, trust signal that Google could possibly want to see. Right now, it's top.
It hits every box they want.
It hits all the boxes. It's everything they'd want to see, and it takes you whopping 2 minutes per job. We're putting it on every site we have now, and probably have.
It's fully integrated into all our sites. It's built in, like you say, OEM parts from the beginning.
But we're the only ones that have it integrated into the service pages. We know that for sure.
Right.
We're people with us, almost the only ones that have it on city pages, because that doesn't get retroed in when you buy it after market.
Right.
And so.
Unless you pay somebody extra.
And we're not a behemoth, although we have 30 people here now, meaning this is an opportunity for a very long time.
Right.
A very, very long time. I think in 3 years, it's still a great opportunity. I mean, heck, from that standpoint, people still aren't dogging out. There's just now become enough people to start doing reviews, dogging them out.
Yeah.
Enough reviews in each market, but it just kind of maybe in the last year or so.
Yeah.
But you can still even get up in that,
And
So-
this data, by the way, will in some cases trump volume of reviews.
Yeah.
Because the particular client we've referenced
Well,
a
it
couple
did
of times,
completely. Yeah.
one of his competitors in his market has almost 10 times his number of reviews.
He had 7 when they had 480.
Yeah.
They are up to 490, and he has 9, and he out optimizes them most of the time.
Yeah.
People ask all the time, "Oh, the map isn't done by anybody." Well, no. That's why you see people with lots of reviews that don't optimize as well, because they're missing hordes of other things.
Right. The reviews are important. Google has come out and stated this is an important ranking factor, but without the website, they don't have all the other data they need to know what to show you for.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah. All right, man. I mean, and just to recap, this is probably the best opportunity I've ever seen.
This is an amazing opportunity in local SEO. The updates they've made have made it so that even if you've got that competitor you see who's been up at the top of the map for 10 years, nobody knocked him out of that spot, you can knock him out of that spot.
I got to tell you something. The 10-year-old guy, site, he too old, he ain't going to do it. The chances of him doing the new age marketing is almost non-existent.
Right.
So yeah, this is a chance to get up and get going. You guys, if you've watched any of these or listened to any of these, we never talk about opportunity or hokey about it. I'm not joking. This is the biggest opportunity we've seen come down.
Right.
We're able to.
We've been excited about righteous reviews for a long time. Watching the podcast, seen us talk about it, and then we started getting this new data, and we saw this algorithm update the last couple of weeks, and we're like, boom, and we're like, holy crap, this is amazing.
We've been doing work that should have. Our clients always do well, but should have slammed them up faster for years. Now all the work that we've done, that we've worked so hard on, is taking effect quickly.
What did we say last week? Google's finally giving us the credit for what we do. We've been doing it the way they say to do it.
You made a
for
comment
long
that was
time.
better than that. Google's finally able to grade stuff they wish they could have.
Okay, yeah.
You had made
I
that
said something
comment.
like
Yeah,
that.
something like that.
It's
So-
like they're finally able to do it the way they wanted to all along.
Yeah. So if somebody's doing all the right moves, it's all the more important to get a high quality digital marketing agency like Roofing Webmasters instead of some just a hack or somebody calling you up trying to sell you stuff that is just a sales shop. Because they can grade all this stuff to this minute level and then funnel it through your GMB and see your map ranking go up. It's just absolutely fantastic. I'm a little bit too tired to get too excited about it today. But
Well, even me saying this is amazing, I sound tired, but it
it's-
is amazing.
It's
really
some sweet
cool.
stuff. Yeah, I thought that you were energized. For me,
I was at first.
in
I'm
Texas.
kinda,
in Texas, when it drops, and it's December here right now.
well, my son
It
had
makes me
my son
sleepy.
had nightmares last night, so
Oh,
he
you're
ended up in
tired.
our bed and he was crying in his sleep.
That's too
and
bad. He
stuff.
can have
It
nightmares
sucked,
now
yeah.
already. I hate it.
Well, he's going to be 5 in January.
Yeah, you got.
Yeah, and yes, in case you're wondering, I am too old to have a 5-year-old kid. Dude, I'm gonna be 50.
That's a whole different deal. People don't need to hear all that. You're gonna have to explain yourself one of these days. All right, I'm good, man. You good?
I'm good.
All right, guys, call us sometime. We'll see you.
Take it easy.